The big story that's been breaking this evening from Tamil Nadu, there's been yet another political coup in the state. And that's right, the big story, the big coup that's taken place within the AIADMK in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu Ministers, led by Jayakumar, a one-time loyalist of Sasikala and Dinakaran, have dumped Sasikala, Dinakaran and the Mannargudi family. This after a 3-hour meeting where 20 ministers were present. They have said that they have sacked Sasikala and Dinakaran from the party. The ouster, they say, was the main condition set by the former Chief Minister O. Selvam for a merger of the two AIADMK factions ever since TTV Dinakaran was booked by the Delhi police for an attempt to bribe Election Commission officials. His loyalists have begun to desert him. Interestingly, Chief Minister Palanisamy is yet to make a statement. No details at the moment available on the nature of the power sharing arrangement that could now shape politics in Tamil Nadu. But this is the big story that's breaking at the moment. As we see those images playing out at the moment, I want to understand from you, T.S. Sudhir, what happens next. Can we expect this merger to be a smooth affair, or do you still see another twist in the tail given the fact that TTV Dinakaran and Sasikala both have money power as well as MLA power in the past?
Well, they have money power, but the most crucial factor which they were actually harping on was the loyalty factor, because many of them were actually given tickets personally by Sasikala, even went to the extent of funding many of them in the May 2016 elections. But let's look at the numbers, Rajdeep. The Selvam camp has just about 12 MLAs at the moment, but the Edappadi Palaniswamy camp has 122 MLAs. Now, if out of that 122 number, if Sasikala Dinakaran camp can actually take out about 20 to 25 MLAs, as what we have been told since morning, that at least 20 to 25 MLAs would be personally loyal to the Sasikala, the Mannargudi family, that would kind of create problems for the Selvam Palaniswamy camp to form a majority government here in Tamil Nadu. But my sense is that given the manner in which the ministers have come out in the open, expelled Sasikala and Dinakaran from the AIADMK, said that they will have nothing to do with the ruling party in Tamil Nadu, that number in the Sasikala Dinakaran camp would slowly start coming down, because they would be presented with a fait accompli. They will have no option but to actually join the party which is going to form the government in Tamil Nadu, and sticking with Dinakaran, they would realize would actually be injurious to their financial health because of the kind of raids which have been conducted in Tamil Nadu. The mood in the AIADMK, especially the Dinakaran camp, is one that of fear, because they fear that if they are seen on the side of Dinakaran, they could actually be targeted by different kind of agencies, and they really wouldn't want to do that. So this would be the first step towards actually the merger of the Palaniswamy and the Selvam camps. Of course, the nitty-gritty of who gets what position will have to be worked out. The Selvam camp, and that was also one sticking point, because they had made it clear that they wanted all the three top posts of the Chief Minister, the General Secretary and the Presidium Chairman. Now, whether Palaniswamy will be willing to give all these three posts on a platter to Selvam, that is something we'll have to see, because the Palaniswamy camp is also very keen to point out that they are the ones who have the maximum number of MLAs, 122 MLAs, whereas Selvam has just about 12. So do you see a situation where the 122 MLAs are actually coming in to merge and join the Selvam camp?
We'll come with those details and break down the Tamil Nadu Assembly for our viewers to give you a sense of why we believe that this could be end game for Sasikala Natarajan and her nephew TTV Dinakaran. But let's just go and listen into what Jaykumar, the minister who came out and spoke after that meeting where it appears that a coup has been staged against Sasikala. Listen into what Jayakumar told our correspondent Pramod Madhav a short while ago.
What is that you have decided here? We decided, according to the intention of the basic party man, all district secretaries, all MLAs, all ministers, their consensus is to de-link the family of TTV Dinakaran and to run the party and the government.
Sir, OPS demands, what will be the role of OPS? Will you accept the demands of OPS? Are you accepting the demands of former Chief Minister?
Naturally, he only disclosed the talks, not the demand. So whenever he come and sit with us means, no, whatever the demand, no, we will
so what role will you play?
We will place into the meeting. Then according to what the meeting decided, it is a decision.
So does that mean entire Sasikala family will not be in AIADMK anymore?
Yes.
That is true. Sir.
Yes.
No more.
No.
Is that decided for?
Yes, we all together sit and decided entire according to the views of the basic party man, all district secretaries, all headquarters secretaries, all MLAs, all ministers. Their all intention is to dealing the TTV Dinakaran.
What is the strength? What is the number you have, sir? What is the strength and number you have with you? What is the strength of MLAs you have with you now?
122.
Then Petrivel and Tangatam Selvan are now speaking against you.
They are also with us.
They are also with you.
They are also with us.
Who will be the general secretary? Who will take up the role? What role of Mr. O. Paneerselvam would
That
play?
only I already previously told my in interview. So that we will form a committee. Committee will run the party. Okay?
Thank you.
Enough.
Interestingly, a committee will be appointed to run the party is what we are being told at the moment there in Chennai. But I want to go to our correspondent Padmaja Joshi, who wants to give us from the newsroom a sense of who stands where. This is a complete potpourri in a sense of various factions playing a role there in Tamil Nadu. Who stands where? Padmaja Joshi, give us a sense of what lies ahead and who stands where in this Tamil Nadu political drama.
Well, this is our own brush with palace intrigue, if there ever was one, Rajdeep, and you've been at the center of it all right from the day when O. Paneerselvam raised the banner of revolt to now when Sasikala has actually been ousted from the party which he tried to take command of. So where do things stand? How has Amma's legacy panned out, the division of her legacy panned out so far? Right at the beginning, there were these two camps which were formed when O. Paneerselvam, after that memorable visit to Jayalalitha's memorial, had in fact raised the banner of revolt. It happened just 1 month after he made a trip to Delhi, met the Prime Minister on the issue of Jallikat, and the other camp was known as the Mannargudi camp. Of course, the figurehead of that camp was Sasikala herself, VK Sasikala, her nephew TTV Dinakaran, who was subsequently elected as the Deputy General Secretary of the party. But the face of that camp was E. Palanisamy, who was subsequently elected the Chief Minister. And he also had the majority of MLAs with him. They gave him their support, 123 of them during the floor test. Eventually, a few defections happened and OPS's camp was left with 12 MLAs, but despite that, it seems now that these people, Sasikala and Dinakaran, they have now been put in a position where very few MLAs are still with them. Apparently, 2 voices were the only ones who spoke up in their support. All the others, including sitting ministers who had pledged their allegiance to these 2 people, have now asked for their ouster, and that decision in this late night development has finally happened. So what happens next? This is what our sources are telling us. These 2 camps are going to merge and eventually they will lay claim as the real AIADMK. Currently, the 2 camps are known as the Palanisamy camp is the AIADMK Amma and the OPS camp is the AIADMK Purichitalaivi Amma, and they both are going to come together and they will be able to get the 2-leaf symbol, the coveted 2-leaf symbol, apparently, allegedly for which TTV Dinakaran was willing to pay several crores in bribe. This is how this entire palace intrigue and this late night coup has played out. Rajdeep.
Okay, there is Padmaja giving us a sense of that. Remember, the crucial number in Tamil Nadu in that 234-member assembly would be 118. Now, if the AIADMK splits any further, then the government will find it very difficult to sustain itself. The big split in the AIADMK, on the one hand, ministers like Jaykumar, the Rajya Sabha leader, Lok Sabha leader Thambi Durai are now demanding a merger. On the other hand, there are those who still remain opposed to the move, but they want, all of them seem to want Sasikala and Dinakaran to exit. So the drama could continue for a while longer and there will be many more twists in this Tamil Nadu tale. Clearly though, what appears to have happened at the moment is an attempted coup. The question is, are there still a large number of MLAs who continue to support Sasikala Natarajan or not? Or is this the end of the game? Now, Sasikala's faction is claiming that a large number of MLAs are still supporting her. Many MLAs are opposed, we are told, to the idea of a merger minus Sasikala. Where does Sasikala Natarajan stand? What is the source of her strength? And why is it now that being in jail, she may not be able to do what Jayalalitha so successfully did, which was to remote control a political party from jail? T.S. Sudhir, you tell us more. Do you believe that Sasikala can still control a political party from jail like a Jayalalitha did? T.S. Sudhir, do you believe that a Sasikala can do what a Jayalalitha did, control a political party from inside jail? Okay, we're going to try and go back to T.S. Sudhir, but the big story at the moment, and there are twists and turns because the drama does not clearly tell us whether Sasikala, Apsara Reddy of the AIADMK, you're joining me at the moment. Apsara Reddy, is this the end of Sasikala? Are we seeing a complete alliance now, a possible merger between the factions, or does Sasikala still command the support of the majority of the MLAs?
I think it's very, very early to kind of do a number tally at the moment. But I think as a spokesperson, I can only go with the leadership of the party and whoever is in control of the party. And I think right now the mood is against Mr. TTV Dinakaran and Sasikala ma'am as the news is unfolding. So let's wait and watch. I think we need to, it's still very early hours. We have to kind of tally the numbers. But I'm sure by tomorrow morning things will become clear. But there is dissent against the leadership, has been reported in the media time and again, but I think we have to wait and watch.
The story is still unfolding with lots of twists and turns. Joining me now, of course, is Khushbu Sundar of the Congress. Khushbu Sundar, are we seeing not just the end of Sasikala, but the end of the AIADMK as we know it, a party now badly splintered, fighting bitterly over Jayalalitha's legacy? We saw round 1 in January, February. Now we are seeing round 2.
Rajdeep, it won't be long before we see the end of AIADMK. The two factions, which is EPS and OPS, who were fighting against each other, trying to stab each other, backstab each other with accusation as to who's the bigger thief. Both of them are coming together today to save their seats and, to have an absolute power. This is very frightening because people, when you talk about the people of like TTV, Dinakaran or Sasikala, the entire Mannargudi family had not even, they didn't even exist till the late Chief Minister, Madam Jayalalitha, was alive, and they have just come out of the bin, and they have been trying to, make waves here. But then when you see that these kind of problems which have been cropping within the AIADMK, and today when they talk about the merger, what keeps me really wondering is now they have formed two factions, AIADMK Amma, AIADMK Purachita Lady. So now what are they going to do? They're going to discard those two factions and come together as the AIADMK. What happens to those two names which they have already registered? What happens to those two parties which they have floated on their own? So there are so many questions, and I think today when they come back together, it's so disturbing for the people of Tamil Nadu to see, because you don't know who to believe. Even if these two factions come together, definitely there will be an understanding as to who will call the shot. EPS will remain the CM, or EPS will be the General Secretary and OPS will become the CM. We do not know. I just heard a senior leader from AIADMK, Ponniyin sir, speaking and saying that it's too early because the talks are on for the merger, but yet the numbers are not clear. And when they talk about the numbers, he was also talking about, it's not about the 20 ministers and MLAs who are coming this side, but also about the other office bearers. What about them is the question he had. So I think it's too early to speak about it. We will have to wait and watch. But I feel that definitely the end of DMK is very close.
You believe it's the end of the DMK? Of course, it's very premature to write the political orbit of any party, given the way political parties operate. K. Geeta, also of the AIADMK, joining me, ma'am. You belong to a faction which has wanted Sasikala out. Do you see this as the beginning of the end for her?
Rajdeep, I should really tell you all, I am never the supporter of both EPS and OPS. I have filed a case on Sasikala saying that she has, regarding the death of Jayalalitha. And so now today these fellows are all crying wolf, this and that. It is just that they have all lost their power. Now this party, this faction feels that, oh, we have to earn money. That faction feels, oh, they are going to pass out with the people. See, the public are not with these people. At the ground level, the grassroots worker is not happy with either of the factions because they have the suspicion about Sasikala's death. And most of the political parties, opposition parties, have also voiced it out in different forms. At least Stalin of the DMK has said that if he wins, that he will at least put a commission. Though he does not belong to the AIADMK. So these people, the EPS and OPS, who owe their life to Jayalalitha. I have not bothered to say this. Now OPS is crying wolf, saying that, oh, I will have a commission. Why he didn't do that earlier? In December, when I wanted to meet him and I wanted to ask him appeal for the commission with regard to the death of Jayalalitha, if you go through the medical reports, you will be stunned and flabbergasted at the way the Apollo and AIMS reports are. And we are looking at it.
Again, going back in history, I want to come back to the latest. The latest is that TTV Dinakaran was only yesterday an FIR was filed against him. Very serious charges, corrupting an election commission official. And Khushbu Sundar, there is a sense that the centre is not exactly a neutral umpire in what is going on in Tamil Nadu. Now it appears that the BJP in particular is very keen that this merger take place, and they would like to have a toehold into Tamil Nadu. They would like TTV Dinakaran and Sasikala out. To that extent, is it also advantage BJP the way this is playing out now in Tamil Nadu, with Sasikala and Dinakaran possibly on their way out of the party?
Rajit, this is the first thing I tweeted in the morning, saying that BJP really wants to have a field day here, and they are playing a game of chess where they are using both the factions of AIADMK, EPS and OPS like the pawns. This is the only way they can find a foothold in Tamil Nadu. Otherwise, they can never see the light of the day as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. So BJP is a non-faction here. BJP is non-existent in Tamil Nadu. So they're trying their level best to come here. And the only way they can do it, bring in the problem, because from day one people knew that how OPS was supported by the BJP government. And that is what they're trying to do now, trying to create problem between the two parties and say that, okay, this is the final outcome and let's see what happens.
So in a sense, there is a political twist at various levels that's taking place in Tamil Nadu. At the center of it, Sasikala and her nephew TTV Dinakaran. Now this is the duo who, when Jayalalitha was in power, many believe, self-aggrandized themselves, made the disproportionate assets. They were the real power behind Jayalalitha, particularly in her last tenure. Now that Jayalalitha is no longer there, the protective umbrella is gone. Sasikala and Dinakaran, many believe, have run the party on the basis of a fear factor and money power. Now it appears the fear and the money are both under stress, because both of them, one is in jail, the other faces the possibility of serious criminal charges against him. So the fear factor is gone, and maybe even the money power that was at the root of their power is also slowly disappearing. Clearly we are seeing some major churning that's taking place in Tamil Nadu politics of the kind that we have rarely seen in that state. It has been building up ever since Jayalalitha passed away in December. Now 4 months later, there is a new twist in the tale in Tamil Nadu. Those images at the moment, in a sense, N. Ram, the former editor of The Hindu, former editor-in-chief of The Hindu, joining me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Ram. What are we to say? Every day brings a new act, a new scene in the Tamil Nadu drama, sir. What do you make out of what we are seeing unfolding in Tamil Nadu at the moment, sir? Mr. Ram, can you hear me, sir? Mr. Ram, can you hear me? T.S. Sudhir, what are you making out of the fact that the Congress is claiming that the BJP has a role to play in what is happening in Tamil Nadu?
Well, that's definitely a fear which many people, including people in the AIADMK, express, that under Paneerselvam, there's a very serious likelihood that the AIADMK could emerge as the Tamil Nadu branch of the BJP, and that's how they are looking at. For instance, someone like Thambidurai, the Deputy Lok Sabha Speaker, on the 2nd of January wrote a long letter asking Sasikala to take over as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu on the 2nd of January. And look at him now. He's part of the entire camp who is asking for Sasikala and Dinakaran to be thrown out of the AIADMK. So a lot has changed in the last 4 months. Of course, the most dramatic was the February 7th revolt by Paneerselvam. But even after that, for many of them, including someone like Jayakumar, who is the Finance Minister of Tamil Nadu, who was supporting Sasikala and Dinakaran till the other day, now making a volte-face and saying that both of them should not be there in the party at all, and it should be the Paneerselvam and Palaniswamy combined that should lead the party, leads many to suspect that there is some kind of a Delhi hand in what has been happening happening here in Chennai and Tamil Nadu, that there is someone who is holding the remote control, there is someone who is actually producing, scripting and directing this entire drama that you are seeing unfolding in Tamil Nadu every night.
N. Ram, you're now with us. I want to understand your take on what's happening. Are we seeing the beginning of the end of the AIADMK, or am I being premature in writing the obituary of Sasikala Natarajan in particular?
I think for this stage they are out. I think from now on it'll be virtually impossible, given the cases, the situation that Sasikala finds herself in, plus the strong popular sentiment against her. Now it's even within their own camp. So I think they can't really escape from this. They're out for now, for the conceivable future. The question is, how will they get together and what? And my impression is that it's Selvam who's preeminent in that party for whatever reason. He's got the upper hand. He's got only 12 MLAs, but I think he's been able to dictate terms. And that bold move he made today, laying down the conditions, I think has prevailed, and the rest of them have caved in. And I think they realized that having Sasikala and Dinakaran there is really asking for trouble, asking for perennial trouble. Also, there is, as you mentioned, Rajdeep, earlier, there's the role of the BJP, the centre. They're playing their hand. So I think everything is loaded against Sasikala and Dinakaran. And Selvam, my guess is that situation won't settle down unless he takes over completely, becomes the chief minister as well as the party general secretary. And EPS can only be deputy, I think.
Very interesting. So you also believe Selvam, even though he has shown in the past that he has less support among the MLAs than Palanisamy, as you believe now is the time that he should become once again the chief minister. We'll have to see how that plays out, because I want to look at the numbers game, Mr. Ram, and my colleague Padmaja Joshi wants to play out the numbers in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. Go ahead, take it away, Padmaja.
Okay, so Rajdeep, here is what the results were like. You've got here the AIADMK, and these are of course the numbers for the United AIADMK. There was 134 for the United AIADMK. Of this, 123 had gone over to the Palanisamy camp. The DMK has 89. The Congress has 8, and of course there's one seat which is vacant, which is that of Jayalalitha, the RK Nagar, for which the by-polls are to be held. Now, of this, right now, if after the merger, these two factions are going to be in the clear, but if about 16 to 17 MLAs break away, they will be away from the halfway mark, which is half of 232. So 116 is the magic number in the assembly right now. So right now they are in the clear. But if there are a few MLAs, about 16 to 17, who remain loyal to Sasikala and do not come with this camp, then it's going to be a problem. This is how the results had in fact seemed last time around. You see the clear vote percentage which the AIADMK had managed to get, but if they come together, will they enjoy the same kind of popularity? This is how things had looked after the last assembly elections, and they will certainly be hoping that getting the two leaves symbol back, they will be able to command this kind of popularity which a united AIADMK under Jayalalitha had. Rajdeep.
So clearly there's a lot of flux, a lot of churning that's taking place in Tamil Nadu politics. We haven't heard the last of this. Clearly the Jayalalitha legacy weighs so heavily over this party that the battle over it has been prolonged.